Progress.
Okay, good morning everyone for Chanukah. I want to speak out of Sugya very briefly. The Gemara says that the Mishnah describes the obligation a husband has to provide for his wife through a third party potentially, and he has to provide her with clothing and shoes. So the Gemara says you're providing her with clothing once a year and shoes 3 times a year. The Gemara uses an unusual expression. This Tana, he's not wearing any clothing, but he's wearing shoes. It's like an unusual situation. You're giving her so many pairs of shoes, she doesn't even have enough clothing. So Gemara says the Tana lived in a mountainous area that the women needed shoes 3 times a year. And the Chiddush is you should give it to her on the Yom Tov so that she should be able to enjoy it. So this Gemara alludes to the mitzvah of being misameach one's wife on Yom Tov. And in an area where she needs shoes 3 times a year, you should get her shoes, specifically schedule the purchase for Yom Tov. So we're going to talk about the mitzvah to be misameach one's wife on the regel. If you look in Archaim, on Siman Tav Kov Chav Tes Sif Beis, Chayiv Adam Liyos Sameach V'Toiv Leiv B'Moed. Person is obligated to be happy and joyous on Yom Tov. Who? Him v'Ishta and his wife, Ubanav and his children, V'Chol Hanilvim Elav and everyone that's part of his camp. Keitzad Mesamchan. How do you make them rejoice? Haketanim Noisin Lahem Kloyis Ve'Agoizim. The ketanim, you give them toasted grains. And women, you buy them clothing in accordance with their, in accordance with your money. Okay, so from here we see that a person has to be mesameach his wife. The chiyuv stems from the mitzvah v'samachta b'chagecha. Chayiv Adam Liyos Sameach V'Toiv Leiv V'Samachta B'Chagecha Ata Bincha Ubitecha, your whole family. So we're just going to analyze the mitzvah of being misameach one's wife. Is the mitzvah that the wife has to be happy, or is the mitzvah that you need to make her happy? Whose mitzvah is it? The Shari Tshuva brings from the Shagas Aryeh. He says, Iyun b'Shagas Aryeh misimin samachei simin samachtes hela the mitzvah shel simcha Yom Tov hu mitzvah sased me'atayra afilu b'zman hazeh. It's a mitzvah midairaisa even nowadays, meaning it has nothing to do with the Beis Hamikdash. It's nothing to do with karbanos. V'noheges gam b'noshim, and it applies by women also. Even though we don't have karbanos anymore, it's possible to be mekayim the mitzvah with other types of joy. Now the Shagas Aryeh says that, it says ach, which means the mitzvah of simcha begins the first day. The first night of Yom Tov, she'ein simcha lefanav, that there's no mitzvah yet. Ein mitzvah simcha naheg b'min Torah midrabanan. Okay, that's the shita of the Shagas Aryeh. Shagas Aryeh seems to be saying there's a mitzvah midoraisa for a woman to be besimcha. Why am I talking about this? I saw an amazing Rabbi Eiger last night. If I were to ask you, what's the halacha? If you forget ritzei in benching on Shabbos, do you have to bench again? Absolutely. If you forget it Friday night, do you have to bench again? Yes. If you forget it Shabbos day, do you have to bench again? Yes. What if you forget it Shalosh Shudas? Do you need to bench again? No, because even though we paskin, you need to wash. But there are shitos that we don't hold like. There are shitos that you don't have to. So therefore, safek brachas lahaka. But the 2 sudos of Shabbos, if you forget ritzei, you have to bench again, because since you're obligated to eat a Suda, therefore, because of Shabbos, so Ritzei is an integral part of the benching. What if somebody forgets? What if a woman forgets ritzei in benching on Shabbos? Does she have to bench again? Yes. Why? Because women also have to have sudos on Shabbos. Why do women have to have sudos on Shabbos? Women have to have sudos on Shabbos because since they're chayiv in not violating Shabbos, they're chayiv in zachar. Yeah? Zachar v'shamar b'dibur achanemra. So women have to eat sudos on Shabbos, and therefore if they forget ritzei, they have to bench again. The $1 million question, friends, and I didn't know this, is what if a woman forgets Yala v'yavai on Yom Tif? Is a woman obligated to have sudos on Yom Tif? So you say, why not? Why wouldn't a woman be obligated to have sudos on Yom Tif? Well, it's going to depend whether the mitzvah of simcha is on women. Pashtus, according to the Shagis Aryeh, the mitzvah of simcha is on women. But maybe you'll say there's no mitzvah of simcha on a woman. The mitzvah of simcha is the man has to be misameach the woman. And in that case, maybe a woman who forgets Yalav Yavai on Yom Tif would not have to repeat Berchas Hamazon. Watch this. This is Shalos Tzus Rabbi Akiva Eiger, Siman Aleph. Okay? So it's Kedai. You're at the Chanukah party. You say to your kids, your family, hey, anybody know the first tshuva in Rabbi Akiva Eiger? Whoever knows the first tshuva in Rabbi Akiva Eiger gets Chanukah gelt. Yeah, but when I say Chanukah, you get chocolate coins, but not even the big one or the medium size. I'll give you the small one. No, I'm joking. You could be more generous than that. You could give them the medium-sized one if they know this also. Rabbi Akiva Eiger wants to know, if somebody forgets Yalav Yavai, Al oidos b'nei beiso sheshakchoy lahazkir shel chag b'berchas hamazon v'chazroi u'barcho. And Rav Tevel said one time he forgot when he was young, and the rabbi said not to go back. Says Rabbi Akiva Eiger, that you did the right thing that you benched again. And this Reb Tevel, who told you not to, no question that he's an old man and he forgot his learning. And probably what happened, this Reb Tevel, who says that he remembered they told him not to, he's not remembering correctly. It probably happened on Rosh Chodesh, not on Yom Tif. Everybody knows on Rosh Chodesh, if you forget Yalav Yava, you don't go back in benching. But on Yom Tif, if you forget Yalav Yava, you do go back. But v'al kol zeh elu nishalti anoich al kacha. If I was asked, k'meduma hayisi moira uba, d'chol marbis beisai anoshim yachsru levarech. Anybody who is an adult, if he's a male, he should go back and bench. Avaloi hanoshim v'abanos, but not women. Women do not go back on Yom Tif if they forget Yalav Yavai. Why? Because is a woman allowed to fast on Yom Tif? What? A woman's allowed to fast. And what about the mitzvah of simcha? Woman doesn't have a mitzvah of simcha. You have a mitzvah of simcha to make her happy. But she doesn't have a mitzvah to be happy. There's no chiyuv for a woman to have a suda on Yom Tif. Your mitzvah lisamcha. Not that she's chayiv to be mesamech. The time of the dimishim the yeshladim the isha mutar slasadas be Yom Tif. A woman's allowed to fast on Yom Tif. This or times Yom Tif neresh we didn't oineg. Why are you not allowed to fast on Yom Tif? Because of oineg. V'chein hu barambam. V'arei mitzvahs oineg hu b'chal mitzvahs say da'atzeres tia lachem dedarshinan minei chatzil Hashem chatzil lachem. V'im keim loitei mitzvah zu adifa mikol mitzvah sasei shazman grama shanashim peturos. Women are chayiv in Yom Tif. Ma di isha mechuyeves the mitzvahs the Yom Tif rak beloy sasei. Avaloi b'mitzvah sasei. V'af laharan dechayeves gam ba'asei mikol mokim zeh rak ba'asei the shvisas malacha. Women are only chayiv in the asei of not working. Aval ba'asei de'ein ba'lav peturos. So they're not in the mitzvah of tainug, so they're mutter to fast. Not only according to the Ravid, who paskins that a woman baila mesamcha, she'al abal mutal achiv lesamcha, aval hi eina b'chiv zeh. Says Rabbi Akiva Eiger, loy mibei, according to the Ravid, that the mitzvah of simcha is on the man lesamcha, but she's not mechuyev in simcha. Ela af ladas halechem mishnah. Dehi mechuyeves besimcha. Mikal makoim. Hainu da asur behesatan. The woman's not to utilize her fast. V'liyos la simcha b'shis yainu basar. Maybe a woman has to drink wine and eat meat. Aval mikal makom nira de'ena mechuyeves b'achilas pas. Says Rabbi Eiger, women, maybe you'll say she has to drink wine, she has to eat meat. She does not have to eat bread. Denira de achilas pas eno mitzad chiyav simcha. You don't eat bread for simcha. Because on Shabbos there's no chiyav simcha, but you have to eat bread. Ela nira de min kavod Shabbos l'kvaya suda ala lechem. Va'akibud va'oinegem simcha trei milanenu. Kavod and simcha are two different things. So there's a mitzvah to be mechabed Shabbos, and women have to be mechabed Shabbos, so they have to eat bread. And the proof that kavod and simcha are two different things, the Rambam in Parak Vav, Halacha Vav, and Hilchos Yom Tov says it's a mitzvah to honor the Shabbos. So too, it's a mitzvah to honor Yom Tov. And then in Halacha Yud Zayin, he says that it's aser behesped of a tainus, and you have to be besimcha. That's mashma. Kavod and simcha are two different things. Says Rabbi Eiger, it comes out on Shabbos the obligation to eat bread is not because of simcha, it's because of kavod. So women are chayiv in kavod on Shabbos. And it could be, since Hashem was mavarech and mekadesh Shabbos with man, which is called lechem, so there's a chiyuv to be kaveh suda on lechem. V'imkein yeshamar the gam b'yom tov midin simcha hayasagi b'basar v'yayin. On Yom Tov, where it's midin simcha, it's enough to have meat and wine. And on Chol HaMoed, which is a chiyuv simcha, you don't have to have bread. There's a chiyuv, listen carefully. On Chol HaMoed, you have to eat meat, you have to drink wine, you don't have to wash. Because pas is midin kavod. There's no kavod on Chol HaMoed. There's only simcha. Says Rabbi Eiger, in that case, ein nashim chayavos b'mitzvahs achilas pas b'yom tov. Therefore, because it's a mitzvah shazman grama, v'imkein hadron ladina de b'shakcha lahasker me'ein yom tov b'rch zamazan ein tzarich lachzor varich. A woman who forgets yalav yavai on yom tov does not have to bench again. A man has to bench because a man has to be mechabed yom tov. A woman has to have simcha. That's a whopper. Umamela im shakcha lahasker yom tov b'rch zamazan ein tzarich lachzor varich. Da have a yom tov the gabi didhu kamay rosh chodesh legabi didan. What rosh chodesh is for men, namely, there's no chi of pas. Yom Tov is for women. But the first night of Pesach, where she's mechuyev to eat matzah, because kol sheyeshnem aval toicha chametz, or Shabbos, if she forgets what say, she's mechuyev in the mitzvah of kiddush, zachar v'shamar, so she's mechuyev in all the mitzvahs saseh of Shabbos. She's mechuyev in gimel sudos and levtzaya shtei kikaros. So therefore, if a woman forgets Ritzei on Shabbos, she has to bench again. If she forgets Yalav Yavai the first night of Pesach, she has to bench again. I didn't know this. Rabbi Eiger says a woman who forgets Yalav Yavai on Yom Tiv does not have to bench again. Halacha l'maisa, you should know. In the footnotes, they bring many Achronim argue on Rabbi Eiger, and they say a woman does have to bench again. Look in the Pischei Tshuva Simon Kuf Peches. Reb Vosner Paskins, since there's a machloikes, it's a suffix, And if she forgets Yalav Yavai, she does not go back. Wow. Very interesting. Seems like halacha l'mais, if a woman forgets Yalav Yavai on Yom Tiv, except for the first night of Pesach, she would not bench again. Not everyone agrees with Rabbi Eiger, but the Shevet HaLevi says it's at least a safek, and safek brachos lahakal. Rabbi Isai, Afrei Lechen Chanukah. Thank you very much. Good, everybody good?
Very good.